Saudi Arabia's King Salman bin Abdulaziz al-Saud has announced a big shake-up of the royal succession and key government ministers just 3 months after succeeding his half-brother, the late King Abdullah. To discuss what the changes mean for the world's biggest oil producer, I'm joined by Roula Khalaf, our foreign editor. Roula, explain the main changes that have taken place today.
Well, it was very big in the context of Saudi royal family politics, of course. The Crown Prince was removed. The Crown Prince, his name is Prince Mukrim. He was a favorite of the late King Abdullah, who passed away 3 months ago. So he's been removed. In his place, King Salman has now installed Mohammed bin Nayef. Mohammed bin Nayef is the interior minister. He's somebody who's very well known to the world. He's quite a favorite of Americans and British. And even more importantly than this change is that the king has now appointed his son, his favorite son, who's 30 years old. His name is Mohammed bin Salman. He's now the defense minister, and he has other portfolios as well, so he's quite powerful already. So he's appointed him as the deputy crown prince. He will then be next in line for the throne. And that means that for the first time, what the king is indicating is that succession will go eventually, but succession will go from father to son and not from brother to brother. And that's a massive change in Saudi Arabia.
It's a big change, but what does it signify? Why is it so important?
I think there are various ways of looking at this. One is that Saudi Arabia has faced a lot of criticism over the years that it's going to be ruled by a succession of ailing kings, because we're talking about still the first generation of the sons of the founders of the founder of Saudi Arabia, and they're all getting on. We're talking 70s, 80s, and so what he's now done is he has moved decisively to the next generation of princes, so to the grandsons of the founder. And that in itself will be seen as a very good move for the future of Saudi Arabia. I think there will, however, be questions about the appointment of his son as the next in line after Mohammed bin Nayef. I think there are obviously other princes in Saudi Arabia who would have thought that they'll have a chance at some point. At least, they might have they can bid for the throne, and they are, as of now, completely out of the way, sidelined.
This comes quite soon after King Salman took over. Why now? What are the policy implications of these changes?
Well, I mean, one of the explanations that people in Saudi Arabia and people who are well connected in Saudi Arabia, what they're saying this morning is that there's been this war in Yemen, a very unusual Saudi move, which is to essentially, they bombed Yemen for weeks now. And the point of this campaign is to show a new assertiveness, particularly towards Iran, which they feel has infiltrated a lot of Arab countries and has expanded its influence more than they can take. I think that it seems to me that there's an attempt to capitalize on this campaign. This campaign has raised the popularity of the king inside Saudi Arabia. It's hugely popular among Saudis because they felt until now humiliated by Iran's expansionism. And I think that it also gave him a chance, because his son has been running this campaign, it gave him a chance to also capitalize on the popularity of Mohammed bin Salman.
These changes will also be obviously very closely watched in the West. They also include a change of foreign minister. What do you think the Americans, particularly the Europeans and other Western allies of Saudi Arabia, will make of these changes?
I think that the appointment of Mohammed bin Nayef will be seen very positively because everybody knows him very well.
The new Crown Prince.
The new Crown Prince. I think there could be questions about the deputy Crown Prince. And I think, people will be disappointed by the loss of Saud al-Faisal, who's been the face of Saudi Arabia for decades. I mean, the al-Faisal branch of the royal family has essentially, for as long as anyone can remember, has controlled the foreign ministry. And he's always been a sort of wise, moderate voice in Saudi policy making. So I think he will be missed, but he's been very ill. So it's been rumored for months that he has to go. So now that he's resigned, it is Adel Jubeir, who is the ambassador in Washington, who's very well connected in Washington. The Americans know him obviously very well. He's now been named foreign minister. So I think the communication lines with the Americans will remain as they are, even if there are obviously policy differences.
Roula, thank you very much for joining us.